Close your eyes and come back to your breath. Let your shoulders drop as if you just set down a heavy coat. Notice the air on your skin, cool and steady. Feel your chest rise, fall and rise again. What if the love you seek were already yours? What if the proof has been here, waiting for your acceptance? You do not beg the mirror to smile first. You smile and the mirror obeys. This law is simple and it is faithful. Assume the end within and the world conforms without. Hold the mood of being chosen as naturally as breath. Let your spine lengthen as certainty settles in. You lead reality by your inner tone, not by struggle. Isn't it easier to allow than to wrestle with shadows? The senses report yesterday's harvest, not today's seed. Treat old appearances as postcards from a past state. You're not waiting anymore. You're remembering. You're returning to the state called already loved. Let that phrase warm your chest like morning light. Already loved. Let it ring softly in your ribs. Imagine the scene that proves it and step into it. Don't look at it from afar. Be inside it now. Feel the hand in yours, solid and warm. Hear your name spoken with ease and affection. Let the breath slow and deepen by a count you don't force. Relax your jaw, soften the tongue, rest the eyes. Ask yourself a clean question and answer with feeling. If I were already loved now, how would I breathe? Your shoulders answer by softening on their own. Your face answers by finding a quiet half smile. You do not argue with a mirror, you tune your face. You do not argue with life, you tune your state. When doubt speaks, it only quotes the past. You're authoring a new chapter with calm strokes. Embody the end, and emotion follows like fragrance. Relief rises, then gratitude, then a steady warmth. You're not forcing a mood, you're accepting a homecoming. Acceptance turns longing into rest without a fight. Let the old ache dissolve like fog before sun. It held no substance beyond your attention. Place your attention on the finished end lovingly. Return to it as the tide returns to shore. We open a loop now for 24-hour proof. You'll receive a gentle sign that matches this state. It might be a phrase, a glance, a small kindness. It might be a message or a clear inner nudge. You won't chase it, you'll notice it. You won't analyze it. You'll nod and say, of course. Now let's clothe the identity that commands that sign. Stand as the one who is already chosen. How does this one walk through a doorway? With quiet ease, with a breathable pace, with grace. How does this one answer a simple hello? With warmth that expects warmth and naturally receives it. Set your inner climate to answered now. Let that climate color every glance and gesture. Do you feel the subtle lift behind your sternum? That lift is acceptance settling into your body. Let your belly soften until the breath reaches it. Let the crown feel spacious, as if skies opened. Ask a small question to refresh your focus. What would I notice today if love was certain? You'd notice timing that feels strangely exact. You'd notice doors opening without your hand on them. You'd notice patience rising without effort. You'd notice your voice sounding steady and kind. Speak inwardly as one who knows. Say, I am already loved now and always. Say it as if describing whether you can feel. Calm, warm, clear. No drama, just truth. You are not performing for fate. You're relaxing into design. You do not manage the route. You hold the destination as already arrived. When the mind asks how, let it rest. When it asks when, let it drowse and settle. You're not the engineer of the bridge of incidents. You're the walker who finds it underfoot, step by step. This is not idleness. It's precise inner work. Aim your awareness like a beam and hold it. Ask again with a smile to vary the pitch. Isn't it pleasant to keep what you've already received? Let the shoulders answer yes by dropping another inch. Let the breath agree by lengthening quietly. If notifications stay quiet, your state stays steady. Your steadiness is the bell that calls the world. If texts rush in, your state stays steady. Your steadiness is the floor that bears the weight. Either way, you persist with gentle rhythm. Return, accept, allow, notice, and return again. You are not asking the world for permission. You are teaching it your inner language patiently. Teach with tone, not tension. Teach with posture, not pleading. The seed does not shout at soil. It rests, draws, and rises on cue. Let your heart rest like that seed. Its pattern knows the way without noise. Now imagine a doorway you pass many times. See it bathed in quiet, almost golden light. Walk through as the beloved version of you. Notice how the floor seems firmer underfoot. Do you hear the change in your steps? Even your footsteps sound assured and unhurried. This is identity, not acting. Identity makes behavior effortless and consistent. You keep choosing the end like choosing a coat. You wear it until it forgets it was ever new. Let your neck lengthen and chin level. Let your shoulders widen as if space joined you. Say inwardly, I carry the mood of being chosen. Say, I release the habit of waiting. Waiting declared power outside you. Choosing declares power where it has always been. If a memory stings, rinse it with breath. Then place it on the shelf of already over. If an image comforts, keep it simple and vivid. Let it be a home scene, not a parade. Watch your inner words as a gentle sentinel. Replace the question, can it happen with it's done? Your nervous system learns from repetition. Teach it with patient consistency, not spikes. You may feel a wave of calm spread now. Let it move like warm tea through your chest. You may feel your hands grow heavier. Rest them where the body wants them to rest. Wouldn't you enjoy a slower cadence at night? Let's allow the state akin to sleep, to gather. Close half the distance to sleep without crossing it. Hover in that balanced drowsiness like a feather. In this threshold, plant one clean sentence. I'm cherished now, and the world shows it. Let the words fall into the quiet like pebbles. Listen for their soft rings fading into stillness. You don't need a crowd of phrases. One sentence deeply felt becomes many facts. Let your brow smooth as though someone pressed it kindly. Let your tongue rest at the roof, light and easy. Ask a brief question to lift pitch again. What if this ease is the proof I kept missing? Ease is a form of evidence. Peace is the echo of a fulfilled state. Now one soft invitation and then we continue. If this helps you breathe easier, you're welcome to subscribe. Return to your day holding the end like a lantern. You don't swing it wildly. You carry it close. Let simple tasks inherit your new tone. Rinsing a cup, tying a shoe, sending a note. The mood of already loved accompanies each motion. That mood informs your choices without effort. You'll find yourself speaking kindly without calculation. You'll find boundaries placed with ease, not fear. You'll notice you stand a little taller in line. You'll notice you take your time answering. Isn't it interesting how order appears from within? Order in tone becomes order in circumstance. When the mind tries to measure progress, smile. Measuring cuts the cloth before it's sewn. Let the cloth grow under gentle hands. Trust the pattern and keep breathing with it. If a pang of longing returns, do nothing dramatic. Step back into the end as you'd step into shade. Feel the cool, certain air of already done. Let your heart settle and simply resume. You won't force emotion. You'll host it. Joy knocks once you unlock the door of state. If tears come, let them pass like fresh rain. They water the ground but don't flood the house. Notice how your voice changes on your next call. There's a new steadiness like a tuned string. Notice how your walk finds a measured pace. There's rhythm where rush used to live. Ask a light question to keep variety. What new kindness will my day mirror back? Kindness given from fullness returns multiplied. The mirror loves a steady giver. Your specific person is a player in your play. You assign the role by identity, not pressure. They feel your tone the way a room feels music. They respond without diagramming the notes. You don't micromanage their steps. You hold the dance already complete. If silence remains for a time, let it be. Silence is often soil doing quiet work. If words arrive, receive them without gripping. Hold them like you'd hold a bird, gentle and sure. The bridge of incidents appears while you're living, not watching the door, but living with an open door. Sometimes the bridge is made of tiny planks. Sometimes it's one clear span from here to there. You don't build it, you discover it. You discover it by moving as the end. Ask again, just to keep the melody varied. Can I allow this to be simpler than I imagined? Simplicity is power with its coat off. Simplicity travels faster than strain. Let your evening be a rehearsal of certainty. Let your morning be the same certainty in motion. At night, return to the drowsy golden edge. Lay your sentence in the quiet like seed. I'm cherished now and the world shows it. Feel the click of placement as it sinks. You will wake with a lighter chest. You will move with a smaller question mark. The world listens to the tone you hum. Hum fulfilled, and it sings back the chorus. Our open loop begins to close itself now. Within one day, you'll notice that gentle sign. It may be on a street you always walk. It may be in a message you nearly missed. It will match your new climate exactly. You will recognize it by the ease you feel. When the sign appears, don't shout inside. Nod, breathe, and say, "Of course it's me. Of course the mirror returns what I show it. Of course the seed breaks ground on time." Let the proof be the first pebble, not the mountain. Mountains grow from pebbles gathered quietly. You'll keep gathering by maintaining the state. The state keeps gathering the world to match. If another sign comes, welcome it and keep steady. Evidence loves a calm witness. Ask yourself one last question to anchor the tone. Isn't it safe to rest in what's already mine? Let that question answer itself inside your ribcage. Let it settle into warm agreement. You're not practicing forever. You're arriving now. You're not chasing. You're allowing what answers you. Stand up slowly and draw one fuller breath. Let the breath leave just a bit slower than it came. Carry this sentence like a quiet ring inside, already loved, and the world shows it. Leave the room by the same door with a new gate. Let the floor notice who you've decided to be. Type wealth unlocked and go live as the mirror you prefer. So here we are, not at a cliff's edge, but in a bright clearing where breath moves freely and the air feels newly washed. You can feel it in your chest, a steadier rhythm, a quieter certainty, a gentler weight to your steps. You are not asking the day to behave. You are teaching it by your tone. You are not pleading with the mirror. You are presenting it with a finished face. What does the mirror do when you arrive certain? It answers in kind the way a lake returns a clear sky without effort. You have carried this end like a lantern close to the ribs. You have stopped swinging it and started walking with it. You have learned the difference between hunting and inhabiting. Hunting burns time. Inhabiting bends it. You kept your inner climate warm and calm, and the world, which is fluent in climate, adjusted its seasons to match. If a sign came, it came as softly as a hand on your shoulder. If a door opened, it opened with the ordinary grace of a familiar hinge. You did not gasp, you nodded. You did not clutch, you received. This is how certainty behaves, measured, generous, unafraid. It speaks little and moves like music through the room. The 24-hour loop you opened did not end in fireworks. It settled into your day like a note that resolves and makes everything feel finished. You saw what you were ready to see because you had already become the one who could see it. You didn't stare at the clock, you changed the keeper of time, and through this, something older than worry woke up inside you. A wisdom that says, I set the pattern, and the pattern sets the proof. You stood in the pattern of already loved, and evidence found you the way birds find fields that suit them. When the mind asked for diagrams, you offered it rest. When impatience tapped, you handed it a chair and let it sit until it remembered silence. There is a dignity to your composure now, not stiffness, never stiffness, but the relaxed posture of someone who knows the way home. Your voice changed first, then your choices, then your hours. Your hours gathered into a day that felt like you had written it on purpose. You did write it with a pen the world cannot see. Ink made of tone, belief, breath, and simple, repeated acceptance. You did not muscle the bridge of incidents into being. You walked and found it underfoot, plank after plank, span after quiet span. You bowed out of arguments with appearances. You bowed into the finished feeling, and the rest bowed to you. You kept your sentence like a seed under your tongue. I'm cherished now, and the world shows it. You let it dissolve into you each night like warm tea, and every morning you woke to a paler shadow of doubt and a brighter shape of proof. There is a tenderness to persistence when it is not noisy. It looks ordinary from the outside, like tying a shoe the same calm way every time. Your calm has become a habit. Your habit has become a home. Home is not a place you run to, it's a state you wear. And today, it fits like your own skin. If a memory tried to sting, you let breath rinse it and set it on the shelf, called finished. If a picture comforted you, you kept it close and simple. No parade, just a room that knew you. One clean sentence, held daily, did more than 100 restless declarations. It learned your mouth, then your breath, then your hours. You discovered that ease is not laziness. It is precision without noise. You discovered that peace is not empty. It is full of answers too quiet for panic to hear. The specific person did not become your weather. Your state became your weather, and your weather set the day for both of you. You stopped micromanaging other people's steps. You started mastering the music in your own bones. Music conducts a room without hands. Your tone conducted your scenes without commands. If silence continued for a while, it became sacred soil. If words arrived, they were handled like the delicate birds they are, lightly, warmly, without cages. There was no audition in your presence anymore. There was only the natural gravity of someone who knows where they stand. Gravity does not shout to be respected. It exists, and everything learns its curve. So what is left to do at the end of a journey that never needed distance? Only to keep choosing the end the way you choose breath, again and again, without drama. You learn to recognize the urge to measure as an old reflex. You smiled at it, then returned to living. Living did not mean waiting for a knock. It meant washing a cup with gratitude, tying a shoe with gentleness, sending a note with warmth already assumed. You found that the smallest acts carry the largest signatures. A steady hand writes a day without a blot. You found that the question, "Can it happen?" always starved the seed, while the sentence "it's done" fed the roots in silence, and the roots worked where eyes cannot, and the stem rose when it pleased, right on cue. When you wanted to rush, you noticed the urge and let it pass like a train. You stayed on the platform called certainty and did not board. Another train came, which was yours. It bore your name in letters only you could read, and you read it without surprise. Surprise has a cousin called strain. You didn't invite either. You invited recognition, which brought its friend, calm. If today offered a small kindness, you counted it as precise, not random. If it offered a delay, you counted it as choreography, not insult. Choreography doesn't ask the dancer to panic between steps. You stepped when it was time and stood beautifully still when it wasn't. You noticed that dignity is not a costume. It is the body remembering its natural height. You noticed that warmth is not a performance. It is the heart at room temperature. You stopped trying to persuade the mirror. You showed it a face that doesn't argue. You stopped trying to teach reality with speeches. You taught with tone, posture, and the quiet, consistent choice of the end. This is what mastery looks like in daily clothes. Not a spectacle, but a symmetry. Symmetry between inner and outer. Symmetry between word and breath. You have become the kind of person whose presence says yes to what matches and no to what doesn't, without a single flinch. Not by force, but by belonging to your chosen state. Belonging is the end of begging. Belonging is the beginning of beautiful boundaries. Beautiful boundaries aren't fences. They're the music that guides the dance. They keep the steps elegant and the room warm. The bridge that carried you here did not crumble after crossing. It remains a testimony your feet can feel. You can walk it again with any desire you invite home. You can walk it again with any chapter you write in a steady hand, because the law has not changed and will not. Assumption sets the mold. Life pours itself in. Your future does not shout from ahead of you. It whispers from within, then moves your hour hand. You face it with the same small smile you practiced. You greet it with the same breath you trained. And if someone asks you how you did it, you won't sell thunder. You'll tell them you learned to hold a sentence and keep your shoulders soft. You'll tell them you learned to rest while moving. You'll tell them you learned to let silence be soil. You'll tell them you stopped picking at the seed. You'll tell them you waited like weather and arrived like dawn. Dawn never argues with night. It appears and the room changes color. Your room has changed color. The walls know the hue of your decision. You've discovered that deciding isn't a single flare, but a cadence. A cadence that becomes a climate and then a country. This country is yours because you planted its flag inside. The world saluted when it recognized the banner. It recognized it by the way you breathed. It recognized it by the way you answered soft questions with softer certainty. When the old self knocked, you met it with hospitality and farewell. You offered it tea, thanked it for its service, and showed it the door without ceremony. You are dressed now in the garment you wouldn't take off, even if you could. It fits because it is you. The beloved version is not a mask. It's the face that was waiting under habit. The chosen identity is not a trick. It's your native shape. And all through this, love stopped being a hunt and became a home. Not a chase, but a chair that knows your weight. From this chair, your voice calls your day by its right name. From this chair, your silence answers nonsense with stillness. From this chair, your specific person reads the room without being taught. From this chair, the world gathers like a well-trained choir to your pitch. What else would you ask of a conclusion but to send you back, steady and bright? What else would you ask of a final word but to fold into your breath and stay there? So take this final turn, which is not an ending. Turn from watching to walking, from checking to choosing. Let your sentence take root deeper than speech. Let its music keep time for your steps. Already loved, and the world shows it. Say it once and then be it. Close your eyes for one brief pause and feel the floor agree with your feet. Feel the spine find its natural length without command. Let your jaw rest, your tongue settle, your gaze soften behind closed lids. Let your heart set the metronome for the room. When you open your eyes, let them open the way. Morning opens a window, fresh, unhurried, certain of the day's direction. Your proof does not need your stare. It needs your steadiness. Your steadiness is the stagehand that knows where every light belongs. Lights are set. Scene is ready. You do not perform. You inhabit. You do not push. You allow. And allowing is not passive. It is precise. It places each moment like a stone in a garden path. Step, breathe, notice, accept, and step again. Let the path appear under your honest foot. If a bird sings, count it as correctness. If a cloud passes, count it as choreography. You are not reading omens, you are reading yourself.